Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking all about how to get the most out of your SAP plant maintenance system. We're going to try to figure out how to really make that system sing. And we've got some really cool insights that we're going to be drawing on from a leader over at Sigga.
Yeah.
Sigga specializes in this stuff, and he's got a lot of interesting things to say. So we're going to dive into all that. And yeah, I think you'll be pretty interested in what we've got to share today.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's all about you've got these powerful systems like SAP and Hadler. We just want to figure out how to make them even better, right? How do we make these systems more efficient?
Absolutely. And, we all know that these big ERP systems like SAP are like the backbone of so many companies. But even SAP themselves admit that, their standard software can't do everything for every business right. There's actually a blog post out there where they basically say that sometimes you just need a little bit extra.
Right, and that's where this whole ecosystem of solutions comes in. Think of it like this. Standard SAP is like the foundation of a house. You need more than just a foundation, right? You need the walls, you need the roof, you need the plumbing, all that good stuff. And so these solutions are kind of like the extra that really make that SAP system work specifically for you.
So let's talk about plant maintenance specifically.
hmm
Your SAP PM system, it's already doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It's handling inspections, preventative maintenance, managing repair requests. But here's something to think about. 80%.
Yeah.
80% of people in a recent industry survey said that aging equipment or unexpected breakdowns were like their biggest obstacles, the
Yeah.
biggest thing stopping them from being productive.
Yeah, that's a huge number. And it really highlights the fact that we're not saying SAPM is bad or anything. It's just that even the best systems can benefit from a little extra help, right?
Yeah.
Just like you might need to upgrade the plumbing in your house after a while. Sometimes you need to upgrade your SAP PM system too.
Right. So a leader over at Sigga actually suggested two main areas where add-ons can really make a difference. And they said these are the things that can take your maintenance operations to the next level. The first one is maintenance planning and scheduling, and the second is mobile maintenance.
Okay. These sound pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the results that some companies are seeing are seriously impressive. So first, let's talk about maintenance planning and scheduling. Can you imagine a world without endless spreadsheets and trying to juggle everyone's schedule manually? I mean, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
That's what these solutions offer. They take all of that data, they sort it automatically, and then they give you this clear visual picture so that you can make quick decisions.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how user-friendly are these systems, though? Like, can anyone just pick it up and start using it, or is there a big learning curve?
That's a great question. I mean, it really depends on the specific solution. Some are definitely more intuitive than others.
Yeah.
But in general, they're designed to be pretty user-friendly, even for people who aren't, super tech-savvy.
Okay, good. Because I feel like if it's too complicated, then it's not really helping, is it?
Exactly. It defeats the whole purpose.
Right.
It's about finding that balance between functionality and usability.
Okay, so what about implementation? Like, how hard is it to actually integrate these solutions with your existing SAP PM system?
Well, that also varies a bit, but a lot of these solutions are built specifically to work with SAP. So it's not as disruptive as you might think.
Oh, okay, so it's not like rebuilding your whole house from scratch.
Not at all. More like adding on a new room.
Okay, got it.
So once you've got it implemented, what kind of results can you expect?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? What are we actually talking about here?
Well, we're talking about companies reducing their planning time significantly. Some companies have gone from spending 2 full days on planning to just 2 hours.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, right? But it's not just about saving time.
Right. What else can these solutions do?
Well, for example, they can keep track of your team's skills and their availability.
Yeah.
That way you can make sure that you're assigning the right people to the right jobs. They can also automatically generate schedules so you don't have to do it all manually.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And a lot of them offer you different ways to view the data, like Gantt charts, so you can really visualize everything clearly.
Okay, but what about customization? Can you actually tailor these systems to fit the needs of your company? Because every business is different, right?
Exactly. And that's another big advantage of these solutions. A lot of them let you build in custom rules so you can really optimize the schedule. You can make sure it's working for you and your specific priorities.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about the planning side of things. Now, what about this mobile maintenance thing you mentioned?
Okay, so mobile maintenance. This is where things get really exciting. Imagine your technicians are out in the field and they have access to all the information they need right on their mobile devices. They don't have to run back to the office for every little thing.
Wow, so it's like giving them a direct line to your SAP PM system wherever they are.
Exactly.
I can see how that would be a game changer.
Right. These apps let them manage tasks sync databases, and even work offline if they're in an area with bad signal.
Oh, wow. That's really useful.
Yeah, they can access manuals, look up parts, report problems, all without being tied to a desk.
So this is a great example of how technology can connect the back office with the field.
Right.
But what about security? Are there any concerns about people accessing sensitive data on their mobile devices?
That's a really good point. And it's something these mobile solutions take very seriously. They have built-in security features to protect data and make sure that only authorized people can access it.
Mhm.
Things like encryption, password protection, and even biometric authentication are all pretty standard.
Okay, that's good to hear. It's all about finding that balance between accessibility and security.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the potential benefits of these add-ons both for planning and for mobile maintenance.
Yeah, it sounds great in theory, but how do we know if it's really worth the investment? Like, what kind of results are companies actually seeing?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And the answer is the results are pretty compelling. We'll dive into some specific examples later. But companies across all sorts of industries are seeing big improvements in efficiency, productivity, and cost savings. It's not just hype. The data backs it up.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. Real world results.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about those real world results you mentioned. I'm really curious to hear how these companies are actually benefiting.
Yeah, so let's start with this mining company that implemented some of these solutions. They saw some pretty amazing improvements. For example, their mean time between failures, or MTBF, went up by 10%.
Hold on. MTBF, what
Oh,
exactly is that?
oh yeah, good point. So MTBF, basically, it measures how long a piece of equipment runs before it breaks down.
Yeah.
So a 10% increase means their equipment was running smoothly for longer periods, which means less downtime and more production.
Ah, okay, so they're getting more out of their equipment.
Exactly. And it gets even better. Their mean time to repair, or MTTR, went down by a whopping 79%.
MTTR. Okay, you're going to have to explain that one too.
Of course. So MTTR is basically how long it takes to fix the equipment once it breaks down. So the 79% decrease means they were getting things fixed and back online way faster.
Okay, so not only are their machines breaking down less often, but they're also getting fixed much quicker. That's a pretty powerful combination.
Right. And all of this led to some serious cost savings for the company. Probably about $10 million in annual savings.
Wow, that's a huge impact.
Yeah. And it's not just mining companies seeing these kinds of results. We've got another example here. A food ingredient company saw their wrench time increase by over 25% after implementing a mobile maintenance solution.
Wrench time, is that like the actual time the technicians spend working on repairs?
Exactly. It's all about making sure your technicians are spending their time actually fixing things, not wasting time on paperwork or trying to find information.
So with this mobile solution, the technicians had everything they needed right there on their devices.
Exactly.
That's a great way to boost productivity.
Right. And these are just two examples. There's tons of other companies out there seeing similar results. It's becoming clear that adding these specialized solutions to your SAP system isn't just a nice to have. It's a strategic move that can really transform your maintenance operations.
So it's like that saying, work smarter, not harder.
I love that.
These solutions are all about working smarter. It's not about replacing your workforce. It's about giving them the tools to be more effective.
It's about leveraging technology to make your processes more efficient.
And what's really exciting is that this isn't just some random trend. We're seeing this shift towards data-driven, technology-enabled maintenance happening across industries.
It's a game changer. And I think that's what's so important for our listeners to understand. This isn't just about fancy technology. It's about real results. Results that impact your bottom line.
Absolutely. It's about moving beyond those limitations of standard SAP PM and embracing the power of these add-on solutions to unlock a whole new level of performance.
So for our listeners out there who are intrigued by all of this, what would you say is the next step? Where should they start if they want to explore these possibilities?
That's a great question. I think the first step is to really assess your current maintenance operations. You know, figure out where your pain points are, your bottlenecks, where you're losing time and money. Once you have a good understanding of your challenges, then you can start looking at solutions that address those specific needs.
It's such an important point. You don't want to just jump in and start implementing solutions without knowing what you're trying to achieve.
Exactly. It's like going to the grocery store without a list. You'll end up with a bunch of stuff you don't need. Have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. Then do your research, talk to vendors, find solutions that align with your goals, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
It's all about finding the right partners who can help you maximize your investment. But what else should our listeners be thinking about as they start this journey?
Well, they need to remember that implementing these solutions is just the beginning. The real key is ongoing optimization.
What do you mean by that?
Well, once you have these solutions in place, you need to keep an eye on how they're performing, analyze the data, and make adjustments as needed. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing.
So it's about building a culture of continuous improvement,
Yeah,
always looking for ways to do things better to be more efficient.
exactly.
I couldn't agree more. So as we wrap up this segment, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo, when it comes to your SAP PM system.
Yeah, I mean, so many companies just get stuck in their ways, right? They keep using these old processes and systems because that's how they've always done things. But the thing is, technology is always changing, and there are always new and better ways to do things.
Right, it's like sticking with a flip phone when everyone else has moved on to smartphones.
Exactly.
So I really want to challenge our listeners to ask themselves, are we really getting the most out of our SAP investment? And if the answer is no, then it might be time to explore some of these add-on solutions.
Yeah, and as we've seen, the potential for improvement is huge. We're talking increased productivity, reduced costs, and a more efficient maintenance operation overall.
Exactly. And it's not just about making your life easier, it's about making your business better.
More competitive, more agile, more profitable.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into maximizing your SAP PM investment, I want to leave you with one final thought. Don't underestimate the power of innovation.
Yeah, embrace the possibilities, explore the solutions that are out there, and don't be afraid to push the boundaries.
And never stop learning,
Hmm.
never stop exploring, and never stop looking for ways to optimize your operations. Because in the world of SAP, just like in life, there's always room for improvement.
Well said. It's been great talking with you today.
Likewise. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.